Changing the movement, changing the time, changing the movement, changing the time. Change is coming, 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 coming.
They see us and they want drama, we're gonna definitely bring it.
Hiphop Psyop, America's greatest hit. A forensic investigation by Lady Nada. The creation of the Splinter reality. Operation Apotheosis. Before we go forward, I have to take you back to understand why, what, and where we are today, to get a firm understanding of the true hidden origins of hip-hop and its creation as the ultimate biological and psychological warfare. We have to peel back the layers of the past. The transmission you are about to receive may offend you and challenge your current worldviews on religion, culture, politics, and life itself. It will challenge your deepest core beliefs that you have been indoctrinated with. These are the most difficult to change. This is why I do not ridicule or belittle those who do not think like I do, or those who have not come to the same realizations that I have. Deprogramming the mind is a lifelong journey and commitment. So I implore you to please have the courage to stick around until the end of this issue. Set your fear aside. Open up your first eye to realize that hip-hop is an intelligence operation created to control time. We are now experiencing a splinter reality that was created in 1865, perfected in 1943, and fulfilled in 1983. It is keeping our consciousness in a perpetual time loop. For the lack of a better phrase, we are in the motherfucking upside down.
When it comes to symbols of the past, what was relevant then is relevant now. Sure, there are a lot of people who think they can change the weather with runes or summon the devil with a pentagram. Look at you, Clark. But there are still a lot of people who ascribe extranatural powers to symbols. Sign of the cross. Number 13. Luck symbols. Bad luck symbols. Symbols that cure or curse or protect. It's all superstition, but people can believe what they want. Right? It's a free country. At what point, though, do their convictions and your pursuit of happiness become mutually exclusive? When do benign symbols become malignant? What was relevant then is relevant now. Difference is that now people can push symbols out to millions with the click of a button, promoting myths as fact. In this post-truth world, where does that leave us? Where do we draw the line?
All of what is accepted as historical proof has been meticulously scripted to confuse, obfuscate, frustrate, and placate the average human who has been stunted to comprehend at a 6th grade level. History is reality, but reality is not absolute truth. I'll say that one more time. History is reality, but reality is not true. Underneath all of the dogma and guru worship surrounding yoga, this is what the OG yogis were trying to convey to their pupils, and is what is ultimately the true goal of meditation, true meditation. To strengthen the all-seeing eye, to see and experience beyond what is presented as reality. It's not something that you can't do. And I'm not just regurgitating to you something that I read. With simple but consistent practices, you too can develop a powerful first sight. And at the right time, you will see beyond the veil and become intimate with the absolute. I first encountered this state when I was bedridden while living in Morocco. I will go more in depth on this later. History specifically, and reality in general, is not to be taken at face value, as they are a puzzle, a code, a cipher. Everything that the human is presented with in its environment contains riddles, wordplay, in-jokes, and secret correspondences between those who know. Those who believe, instead of knowing, become the victims of reality and the game. The real you, as the mind, consciousness, or energy, which is without form or shape, created this game to experience different levels of sentience. Touch, taste, sound. Computer games are humans' attempt to simulate the simulation, but with machines. To splinter our waking reality, more than machines are needed. A simulation of this reality was created with ritual magic and layered on top of the existing reality. The original reality was programmed by the collective mind, and we experience this as nature. It benefits no one person or group's agenda. This splinter reality, however, was created to serve a select few, the counterfeit elite, as I like to call them, and trap the rest of the people in various loops, playing the roles of clueless servants. I will go more in depth on the powerful occult practices of ritual magic, staged magic, and illusion later. Follow me now.
Peace and blessings. This is Africa Bambata, of the Universal Zulu Nation, in great support of the master teacher, Dr. Malachi Z. York. We are here to talk about our brother who needs to be freed from jail, that everybody needs to get the facts right, to get out there and seek the truth, the factology to what happened in this case, to bring it before the public, to bring it before the people, to get a right overstanding on the case of Dr. Malachi Z. York.
Changing the movement, changing the time, changing the movement, changing the time. Change is coming, 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 coming. Changing the movement, changing the mind, changing the movement.
Secret government that works around. They practice witchcraft to harness their power. pedophiles break little kids for energy. The satanic ritual. WTC. They lit the Pentagon on fire. That's lighting the pentagram on fire. One thing I always wanted to know, man, is what woke you up to the New World Order, these globalist elites and eugenicists? The main thing that woke me up to it was a writer named Dr. York, a spiritual teacher from Brooklyn. He had a whole community over in Bushwick, on Bushwick Avenue, called the Answer Allah community. They were like real heavy into like just studying the origins of religions, of cultures, politics, of the origins of everything. And that's how you really get to the bottom of things, when you study the origins of it. So that's how I learned reading his books, and it all came from that. Yeah, because God is going to come down and handle that. You know what I'm saying? God is here. He's going to come down, but God is here. And trust me, evil never wins in the end. You know what I mean? God always wins in the end. So, that's what we can do is, pray for the best, live a positive life, healthy life, and just, do what you can do, to make it through, but it's really up to God at the end of the day, because these motherfuckers are so powerful, there's nothing you can really do, you know what I'm saying? I actually saw Henry Kissinger 2 weeks ago, and I told him, no matter what happens, you're going to have to be judged by God, and your soul's going to be hurt eternally if you don't repent and ask for forgiveness. Pick stop pounding guns, and what the fuck you gonna do? They're gonna drop bombs on your fucking shit, you know what I'm saying? They got the Air Force, like how you gonna fight these people? You can't win that war. Yeah, you can't, there's no winning that war, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, exactly. I think one way we could get out of it is we move out of it. We stop participating and stop reacting and start acting towards the right way. And that's what comes with it comes along with being aware of things, you know what I mean? So, trying to take yourself out of certain things that you learn that's not good, you know what I mean? Don't participate in that, because now you're aware of that, you know what I'm saying? That's not where you belong. Exactly, you know what I mean? Anything else you like to share? Just shout out to Dr. York, you know what I mean? Doing 135 years right now. Hold your head, dog, you know what I'm saying? You gonna be alright, you know what I'm saying? You gonna be alright, dog. Hold your head, man.
Hip-hop is overtly marketed as a counterculture and a rebellious music. This could not be further from the truth. It has been scripted from the very beginning. Part of the reason for its creation was to recycle and reinforce religion to the youth. Society was slowly moving away from religion after the 60s and was waking up to the dogma that was being forced on it. The easiest way to influence the youth, besides schooling, is music. Psychology also shows that youth tend to rebel at a certain point. How do you control the rebellion? You create the opposition. In occult circles, this staged magic is called the Hegelian dialectic. This is the reason why damn near every rapper is designated a particular religious cult to rap. Whether it be Christianity, Rastafarianism, Islam under the guise of the NOI, the Moors, or the Nation of the Gods and Earths, Buddhism, even Satanism, which ironically is merely Christianity with different characters. When you worship Satan, the quote-unquote great serpent, you are really worshiping Zeus, who was also known as the great serpent. And likewise, when you worship Jehovah, or just generically God, you are also worshiping Zeus. One of Zeus's sons was Dionysus. This is who the character of Jesus was given many of his attributes from. So, to recap, Jehovah is Zeus, and his son Jesus is Dionysus. Hip-hop at its core is a Dionysian cult. I know this is challenging for many of you, and it's hard for you to wrap your mind around, but just stick with me for a minute. And oh, I didn't forget about Allah. The origin of this character was originally a feminine deity called Alat. Her symbols were the crescent moon and the lion. Oh yeah, my Rasta brethren, the Lion of Judah is female. More on this later.
Death was a blessing for him. And all this you did to find the ancient wisdom. Tell me what you think this will bring you in here. What did it bring the adepts of ancient Egypt? I will move as a god among the masses. I will return us to the days of the old kingdom. I will initiate the worthy and destroy the weak.
Now back to Dionysus. Who or what is Dionysus? The prototype for Jesus. Dionysus was a crucified savior way before the man known as Jesus was said to exist. Christianity was formed as a remix of many different philosophies, much like hip-hop is formed as a remix of many different genres of music. And the church was a heavy biter of the Dionysian cult. The popular motifs that exist in hip-hop of blood, the color red, pimp culture, gang culture, all of this ties into the blood rituals that are performed to open these portals and continue the time loop.
minds are changing, 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 changing. Your minds are changing, 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 changing. Deeper into delta, deeper into delta. Deeper into delta, deeper into delta. Deeper into delta, deeper into delta. Time is coming where things are changing. Change is coming, change is coming, change is coming, change is coming.
Dionysus is the god of the grape harvest, winemaking and wine, of fertility, orchards and fruit, vegetation, insanity, ritual madness, religious ecstasy, festivity and theater in ancient Greek religion and myth. He is also known as Bacchus, the name adopted by the Romans. The frenzy that he induces is Bacchia. Notably, this ritual called Bacchia is what was performed at the now infamous Travis Scott Astroworld concert. These rituals are getting easier and easier to decode because their power is fading. You can clearly see that they constructed a cymatic portal behind him on stage to harness the frenetic energy of that blood ritual. The more of us that realize the tricks that are being played, the less power that their rituals hold. So this is great news for us. More on this later.
Dancing on an ambulance. This was some satanic panic. That's all I can say. This could have been a perfect fucking. So again, for all of those people out there, for all of those people.
Look at that! I'm looking at the one that niggas dancing. What the fuck? He bouncing with Travis on the fucking thing with Kiss Me Out.
Matter of fact,
Can you rewind it again? I just saw that. You know, I get a delay because I'm watching everybody else do it.
So the niggas clutch used to dance on.
What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck?
The purge! Look at the nigga twerking. The purge, rain. Look at this rooster nigga up here. Look at this rooster nigga. Somebody get their little brother. Look at this shit. Now that right there should be that should be on the American flag.
Damn.
Evidence.
I'm innocent.
I'm gonna play some more evidence about this little boy. Now look at this crowd. There you go. Look at this crowd. All right. So he's seeing all of that going on. But we're gonna show y'all something. We're gonna get to the bottom of it. There you go. Right there. Okay. There's the ambulance. Let's go. Look at this. This is a better view for you. Look at this nigga. Motherfuckers are throwing shit. Look at this. People are throwing shit. Look. Look at this shit. Get him the fuck out. Get him the fuck out of here. I ain't playing no games tonight. Get him the fuck out of here. Crazy ass boy. And you already trying to send your niggas out here and say this is some black shit. Nah, this is a stupid shit.
Yeah, it ain't no black shit. It's just a Travis and we're not into trying to help everybody young as children. You know, that is not something.
Bro, if y'all don't get out of here, all you Travis Scott TikTok baby heads out there, I don't care who you listen to. Bro, he knew what was up. He stared right at the ambulance, and it wasn't a part of the problem. Then Stinky and Dodo come out there. They say something to him. Hey, don't fuck up my money. Basically. done.
Nobody's here. Did I get the time wrong? No. You follow directions perfectly. Which bodes well. But the hall's locked. There's no event. I'm sorry. Could you just put Peter on? Peter is in your off. Sorry. What? The borderline between heaven and hell. Yeah, thank you. I know what the Araf is. And whether he returns to your world or moves on to the next will depend on your actions. There exists within the city an ancient portal. Now I need you to find it and unlock it. An ancient portal. I know Peter likes to be the center of attention, but this is objectively extreme. Peter, if you're listening, honestly, consider medication. For someone with so much knowledge, you know so little. But that will change. You will solve the great mystery.
It looks so real.
And Peter will point the way. Well, where is he? As above, so below. Hello?
You might say, okay, let's say they did accomplish all of this. All of this was scripted and elaborately planned. So what is the purpose of this complex scheme? The answer, my friends, is apotheosis. The counterfeit elite wish to become gods that walk the earth. In 1865, George Washington was initiated with the apotheosis ritual with the creation of the rotunda fresco at the Capitol building in Washington, D.C. Apotheosis is the glorification of a subject to divine levels and commonly the treatment of a human being, any other living thing, or an abstract idea in the likeness of a deity. The term has meanings in theology where it refers to a belief and in art.
Peter will point the way. He said that on the call. The fresco above us is Bruni's Apotheosis of Washington. From the Greek apo, to become, and theos, God. There, in the central panel, George Washington is ascending on a cloud above the mortals. It's a moment of transformation. I think this guy is telling us what he wants. Apotheosis.
To become God. Many things can do that by accessing this ancient knowledge.
It was said to hold the keys to unlocking abilities that lay dormant in the human mind.
I'm playing catch up, but the ransom is superpowers.
The thing he's doing is in accordance with ancient protocols. The hand of the mysteries must be presented in a sacred place. That's why he chose this room.
Sacred. They sell we the people shot glasses in the gift shop.
It's symbolic. This room was built as a tribute to the Temple of Vesta in Rome. There's a purpose to everything he's done. And everything he said.
What is it?
As above, so below. It's the last thing he said before he hung up. I wonder.
Wait. There it is. Roman numerals?
No, as a subtracted notation, it doesn't work.
Excuse me.
Be a
Arabic?
Not Arabic.
no?
It's a special team.
If I could just interject.
It actually looks like a runic variation.
Hey, smart people. It's upside down. So it's not 885, it's SBB, right? We use that numbering system here in the Capitol. Sub-basement, room 13.
Okay. Let's go.
Also installed in the rotunda and later removed to the underground crypt was a statue of George Washington as Zeus. So, this staged ritual was the creation myth of George Washington as someone who didn't lie, was a great hero, and thus was elevated to a god, giving the illegitimate state of America the divine right to rule, supposedly. Hip-hop culture is covertly worshiping George Washington as God and propping up the illusion of America as the greatest nation on earth, and has convinced generations of people all over the world to do the same. Western science is slowly unveiling to the masses that reality is a holographic projection. This is not a new discovery or philosophy, but it's just remixed ancient thought. Western civilization created a new game within the game. The challenge of reality is to solve the code, not to become a slave to the code. I can speak directly to this orchestrated confusion as I have been researching and seeking the truth of the nature of this country and the nature of reality itself since childhood. I was identified and targeted as a gifted child at the age of 4. I say targeted because it is not a gift or blessing to be chosen by the elite. All they offer is illusion. By the age of 5, I was already attending college and being studied. I would go to my regular elementary school, Cornell Elementary, part-time. My other time was spent at Chicago State University. This was back in the early 70s. I did not attend regular classes with the other students. I had a private instructor, a short, blonde, white European woman, and we had a large room to ourselves. We would play various games, and she would ask me questions, and I would take certain tests from time to time. As an aside, my earliest introduction to the Moors and the Moorish Science Temple was at 4 or 5 years old. I would walk back to my grandmother's house from school, and they had a temple on 75th Street near Cottage Grove. The Moorish Science Temple, created by Drew Ali, was the father of all modern black religious cults. In the summertime, they would give out free lunches to kids. But there was a catch. Before you received a sack lunch, you were asked a question to which us kids was a bizarre riddle. "What's your nationality?" I was asked. I didn't know what the hell they were talking about. They gave you the lunch whether you answered that you were an American or a Moor. The first round of budget cuts for education on the south side of Chicago began back then as well. Parents were forced to find other options as many schools were closed and demolished. My elementary school was one of them. I transferred to Powell Elementary. At 10 years old, I was in another dual program. I was being steered towards science and engineering, so I would go to special classes, seminars, and labs at the Illinois Institute of Technology. At 13, I reached my first crossroad. I was invited to attend a summer seminar at the University of Chicago, home of the first Manhattan Project experiment. I was told that all I had to do was to attend these seminars every summer and submit to testing. Then I would receive a full scholarship to the university. Halfway through the summer, I just felt like something was wrong. I couldn't put my finger on it exactly, but I would feel sick to my stomach each time I would get ready to leave, and the whole bus ride there. Finally, I got the courage to tell my mom that I didn't want to do it anymore. I didn't want to play that game. She didn't understand either, but I'm grateful that she respected my wishes on this case and didn't force me into that life. Since then, I've been on the path of knowing. I refused to believe it was given to me because it didn't add up. None of it made sense. From religion, to history, to politics, to education, even to relationships. I had the feeling that there was a big joke being played on us, and I was determined to get to the bottom of it no matter what. In digging deep to find the truth, I had to question everything that was presented to me, even the things I love most, like hip-hop. As a fourth-generation musician and music lover, I took no great pleasure in dissecting this music and subculture that I love. And it hurt to the core to find out that it's all scripted. Everything. All of these artists that get a decent amount of national coverage and attention are actors and are playing a character. Each person's game or life path is different. Within your researching for the truth, you will encounter symbology that speaks directly to you and your struggle, or also what's known as your path or destiny. Keys to your own evolution and graduation from this game to the next. So that which stands out to me as a critical piece of the puzzle may not be so for you. This is why a guru or teacher shouldn't teach their particular system that works for them just for you to memorize it and make it your dogma. A guru should teach you their system and simultaneously how to find your own system, which is the only way to truly win the game, aka enlightenment. How can you reach enlightenment? Through the regurgitation and mimicking of someone else's system or ideas. You have a temple of your own, your body, that is unique to you. This is the only holy temple that exists, and the one that is worthy of lifelong study and refinement. You can't win your game while constantly playing someone else's. As is written in John chapter 10, verse 34, Jesus answered them, "Is it not written in your law? I said, ye are gods." Upon completion of my documentary series, you shouldn't feel satisfied with the digestion of my truth as I found it. I am just a teacher, not your God. I hope to inspire you to get to know yourself, your temple, your path, your truth. Break out of the loop. Play your own game, not theirs. Issue 2, coming soon.